Thank you for downloading the Chase Smith Podcast, proudly part of the Press Play Podcast Network. In this episode, we cover all your entertainment and streaming needs. I'm joined by my executive team, Brookes, May, and JD Hyman, and we start by interviewing the host of a brand new show on the Press Play Podcast Network, Kristen Aviles and Kristina Walter. They host UpNext, and we talk about their pod and our favorite TV shows and movies. Then I bring on Jonathan, Heather Patrick, and Damon Royster to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's a super fun episode, and I'm happy to get the Chase Smith Podcast rolling again. Thank you for sticking with me. Let's get it! What's going on, everyone? Could not be more thrilled to fire this bad boy back up again and begin recording shows on the Chase Smith Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for downloading and listening. I'm here with some of my absolute favorite people of all time, and here to help me keep this show going, she's our head of content and development at Press Play, Brookes. May Brookes, what's up?
Oh, wait, I have to do it. I have to say hello.
You have to.
The
Thank
fans
you.
demand.
The fans do demand. That is so true. It is. It has become legendary.
Thank you for having me, Chase. I'm so excited that you're back. You're back on the airwaves as yourself.
Yes. Brookes, this is your second time on the Chase Smith Podcast, Brookes.
That's true.
Yes,
true.
It is true.
I'm a returning guest.
Returning friend of the show, I think is the industry term for a second time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also joining us is a friend of everyone that I know. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Press Play Podcast, JD Hyman. JD, what's good, man?
I am so excited to be back on the air.
Yeah. So you wrapped up your first season. That was in January? Or
either January, I think it was December, actually. Mid-December.
Yeah. Season 1, the Hyman podcast, just critically acclaimed is how first season. How did it feel to wrap up your first season, JD?
It was bittersweet because I really enjoy being, recording and like putting stuff out there and creating content. And I still go back and listen to like some of these episodes because they're awesome.
Yeah, they're very well done. And
they sound amazing.
They really do. JD, your episode sparked other conversations in other people groups and in other, like really all over kind of like, you're in South Carolina, at least in all over Ohio, and I'm sure in Florida or wherever else people are. You got some conversations going, man, which is, you say from the jump, hey, I'm going to start a conversation. How did that,
Definitely.
Was that weird?
It definitely started a revolution that I did not expect, but gladly welcomed.
Yeah, well, I loved it, and I thought you did an incredible job. But we just didn't get together tonight to talk about ourselves and our shows. Brookes, what are we doing here?
We could, though. I mean, we could do it all night.
That would be fun. Yeah.
No.
So what are we doing here?
We are here to announce the newest show that's launching on the Press Play Podcast Network. And this is a show that's been in development for a while. Chase, I believe it was your brainchild initially, and it's gone through a few iterations. And we have two incredible, dynamic, hilarious, very smart hosts who are joining the network to take UpNext to the next level. Yes. And I'm so excited to introduce them. So this evening we have with us my friend Kristen Aviles. Hi. Freshly back in Chicago, actually. Not that it matters where anyone is these days.
Nope.
We're still in that panini, but welcome back all the same.
Thank you.
And then our second host is Kristina Walter.
Hi.
Hello. We're so happy to have you. Also in Chicago, actually.
Yes.
So I'm thrilled to have a Chicago contingent on the P3 network.
Love it. February 2019, I was at dinner at a place called The Elevator here in Columbus, and I forget what was just released, but I was like, man, I would love something on the network that just is a part of the national conversation of what's trending, or just to talk about what's been released on Netflix. And I think in 2019, it was probably just Netflix and probably Hulu at that time. But I was like, we're going to do it. I didn't have a host, but we're going to do it. And we didn't have a host. So it was just like in like podcast purgatory for 2 years.
Podcast purgatory.
Yeah. Until Brookes, out of the ashes comes these incredible hosts to lead UpNext to its final glory. So
and I think when I was thinking about the show and launching the show, I I don't know how you all feel, but I personally am completely overwhelmed these days by the options of streaming content. There's so many platforms now. I don't even have memberships to all of them. I feel like every day I get recommendations to watch new shows and new series and new murder documentaries and new movies. And especially with the pandemic, it's just, I'm overwhelmed by it. And I'm really excited for Kristen and Kristina to help me and all of you decide what we should be watching, because our time is precious and I don't want to waste it on stuff that isn't worth my time. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
That's right.
All on us.
So tell us a little about yourselves, my girls.
No.
What are your backgrounds? What are you into? What kind of movies do you like to watch?
That's a really heavy question. I can't believe you asked that.
This is too soon.
It's like really heavy. But if I had to answer in 3 words, I'm from Chicago. I mean, I live here now. I'm not from here. I'm not doing 3 words in case you haven't noticed, but I'm originally from New York. Staten Island, represent. Everyone hates it there. And then
you know Pete Davidson.
Yeah, we went to school together. That is also a lie. You can't tell.
Wait, is that a joke? Okay. I have absolutely no context for how many high schools there are on Staten Island, so I feel like that seemed like a reasonable response to
honestly, if I didn't go to high school there. I went to middle school, then moved to New Jersey. I went to some of middle school, then moved to New Jersey. But I can name all the high schools. There's like a handful.
Can we talk about the movie King of Staten Island really quick?
I loved it.
Okay, you really liked it. Has anyone seen it?
Genuinely
I haven't seen it.
Okay, it took me and my wife 3 sit downs to get through it. I didn't know what it was. Like, what was it trying to be? It was. I felt like it was all over the map.
It is, but it's very niche. Like, I liked it because it reminded me of Staten Island, and I feel like if you didn't know, you were just like, what the fuck am I watching? But he did so many, like, what are they called, little bird droppings of Staten Island in it. So I was like, oh, this is it. So anyone from Staten Island was like, yeah, this is some good content. And it was probably really bad. Couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, is it trying to be a comedy? Is it trying to be like it was?
It's
like,
comedy.
What is going on?
It's a comorama.
Gotta be a comedy, right? Pete Davidson.
Yeah, it tries. Yeah. No, it was just so interesting, and we try to catch Apatow stuff when it's released, and we're fans of Pete Davidson, so we're like, oh yeah, let's check this out. And it took us, we had to we're going to finish this. We can't leave an hour left on the King of Staten Island, but
that hurts my feelings a little bit.
Oh come on, no, that's not what I was trying to get at.
We clearly have different tastes, and that is okay. But yeah, then I moved to Chicago and I did some comedy here. And like love comedy, love laughing, did a lot of improv. Improv's dead now. I'm okay.
It's dead.
And then I met Kristina here, and that's how we became friends.
Yes.
And that's how we became hosts too.
Cute.
Yeah, I was told when I first met Kristen that she was going to be the funniest person I've ever met. Yep. And it's been true ever since. Yeah.
Yep. People stop.
I don't know if I should share this story.
Yes.
I'm gonna share it. Okay. One time, Jake, who's my fiance, who used to come to all of our shows, Kristen, and one time after the show, he's like, I just want to tell everyone in there to give up on comedy, except I want to look at Kristen and be like, except for you.
Oh my God.
Like, everyone else, just give it up. It's just not happening for you, except for, and we knew you as we called you K10.
Yeah.
Just like, except for K10. And I'm
Classic.
like, it's true though. She's
Classic
so
Jake.
funny.
Classic Jake.
Classic Jake.
He's
and that was
so
not to knock. There were tons of talented people. This is why I didn't want to tell that story. But K10, you stand out. You're a shining star.
Guys, stop it so much. Tell your friends. If anyone, Lauren, if you're listening, you heard it.
Pete Davidson, if you're listening.
Yeah. True story. We're friends on PlayStation Network, me and Pete Davidson. So before he blew up majorly on SNL, I don't know if he tweeted out his gamer tag, but I definitely found it from somewhere and really quick got on that friend request. So that's my Pete Davidson name to fame. I did
chat him. What happens?
Like, hey, what's up?
Just see what he's playing or not playing. I did send him a message telling him that King of Staten Island was a letdown. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
Zing.
did
He's
not
like,
do that.
delete.
We were friends on the PlayStation Network. No. All right. So what about a show like Up Next, Kristen and Kristina, were you guys like, oh yeah, we got that. We have something to say and we want people to hear what we have to say. Like what about a show about streaming content like drew you to the network?
Easy.
Well, I watch a lot of TV and movies, and I was like, I want to tell people about these movies that I really enjoy watching, or talk about some movies that were not that great and why I didn't think it was that great. And so it's just a perfect platform to do that on.
Yeah. Kristina literally watches so much.
I do.
Like, you're good though. This is a perfect partnership because, you know, Kristina will most likely have seen most of the stuff, and I'm obviously going to do it too, but I trust Kristina's point of view. So this is a really good partnership.
Yeah. Also, it's been really weird, but there's been some movies that like I haven't seen, surprisingly. And then she's like, why haven't you seen this? Like one of our first episodes. And we'll talk about that later. But our first episode, I was like, I've never seen that before. And I was super surprised. And K10 was like, I've seen that before. So we had to do it.
And it's like older movies. I feel like you don't know. I haven't seen a ton of.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of new movies, but not as much.
Kristina, do you feel like, because you're a working actor, do you feel like you have a different appreciation for movies? Maybe you don't watch it as a consumer, but more as like a student. Do you feel like that kind of plays a role in your passion for movies, or has it always been something that you've just been like all in on, or TV?
So like I didn't really watch a lot of TV or movies growing up, and if I did, it was like whatever I was allowed to watch, or because my brother and my sister was watching it, and so I had to fight over the TV most of the time. So I watch a lot of adventure and action stuff because I just love that, like, out of world, like this would never happen. And I think that's also why I like being an actor too, because you get to play these different roles that you would probably never get to do in real life. And I think that's why I love movies and TV shows, because you get to, you know, live through all these different characters. So
Kristen, is it hard to appreciate comedies as a master improver, or?
No, I love comedy. And I love cringe. So even if it's really bad, I'll love it. Oh my God, don't even get me started on cringe content. It's like my guilty pleasure. And Kristina, we both really like bad movies. Like bad movies are so good from an acting perspective, but also just from like a directing perspective. I mean, I'm not a director, but like I can be like, what choice was that? What was going through your head where you said, this is the right choice? Nothing. So I absolutely love anything bad. And I also love good. I cry at every single movie probably ever. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, same. Me too.
I've found that the older I get, and I have two kids, just like I cry more and more and more, and like more and more random things. I'm just like, what? Okay.
You said bing bong. No.
Yeah, right. Soul, I didn't even stand a chance.
I sobbed. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. Good.
Crudes 2. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, got me. Crudes 2.
I haven't watched that yet. It's in my
haven't watched it.
Yeah, Crudes 2. Well, it's about like his daughter Eep, I think, and like how she and her boyfriend are like going to go away from the family, and it's just like I have my 5-year-old daughters on my lap watching this. I'm just like, never leave me.
Oh, okay, that's sad.
And then
cute. Sad.
Yeah, well, and then the weekend later, I'm speaking at a winter retreat, and we're in this like we got put up in this like plywood cabin, and this is in January or something. And it was so cold, we really had to do a sleep pile like at night, like on the bed. So we're all just like, I don't know if you watch Crudes. They all they do a sleep pile, and they all just like gather together once they don't get eaten by like.
Because they're cavemen, right?
They're prehistoric beasts, but also keeps them warm. And so it was just like a whole Crudes thing, and it was very, very touching. I'm sorry.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's also embarrassing because that's Crudes too, and I feel like any movie with Nick Cage probably shouldn't make you cry. But I also cried during Con Air, so I can't even say that Nick Cage makes me cry.
Is it when he's holding the bunny out of the plane?
Yes, and the song is playing, and he's all this whole time is trying to get to his daughter. Oh man.
Not
Anyway,
So I guess now we can kind of lead into the main part of the discussion.
Yes.
So girls, tell us, and we call them the K's, and I think that's like one of the coolest things. I hope you guys don't mind that we call you guys the K's.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
What are your top movies and TV shows? Let's start with movies.
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Let's each say 4 or 5.
Okay.
Because I want us all to share. Should we all do 5? Since there's 5 of us here.
Okay, top 5. Everybody's top 5 movies.
Our top 5 movies or TV shows.
I have a completely 2 different lists.
I got both.
I needed to work on this in advance. Frankly.
We're gonna do top 5 movies and then top 5 TV shows, but let's do movies first.
Okay, so
Brooks, you can go last.
Yeah. My absolute, and this is like so stupid, but my absolute favorite movie, I've seen it so many times, is Divergent.
Whoa.
I know. Weird. Like
So random.
Just watched it like really recently.
I literally don't know. I've seen it so many times and I can watch it like 4 times in a day. No
Did you
reason.
read the books?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
So I have a
no
joke.
connection.
Don't read the books.
No.
So I just feel like Divergent is not the Hunger Games,
No.
right? Like they kind of came out around the same time and like a very similar poster. I haven't seen
similar
Divergent.
Divergent diverges from the books. So.
Oh,
Damn. I don't know why I like it. I really don't.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
So I guess these lists are personal favorites, not really technical, like cinematic masterpieces.
No,
So,
yeah.
Okay.
No.
So we're not.
That's
no
a different
judgment.
list.
That is-
different list.
Yeah.
Judge each
So I
other.
just want to preface our list at. You could say Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is your favorite movie. And
Yeah.
no one's like,
Yeah.
which is a real movie, by the way.
Man, I just thought about one now since you said that. A bad movie.
All
Yeah.
right, Kristen, love it.
I-
Divergent, love it.
Yeah, I really hope any listener is not like, wow, they have really bad taste. We're not going to listen. It's based off of preference. Okay. And my
Mhm.
preference is really good. So if you don't like it, then you're wrong.
Something's wrong with you.
But okay. So Divergent clocking in at number 1 by a landslide. Clocking in at number 2, we got every single Harry Potter movie.
Oh,
No.
sweet.
No.
That doesn't count. You got to do one.
One. Oh,
One.
Oh,
fork.
I didn't know that was okay.
I know Kristina has every single one. Okay, I'll choose one and it'll be actually, I really like the way no, I'll do Goblet of Fire.
Oh,
Okay.
Goblet
I
of
was
Fire.
hoping
All
you
right,
would
all
say
right.
Order the
Those
Phoenix.
Cedric Diggory vibes.
I was gonna say the last one, but I decided not
Yeah, I think
Wait.
it's the last one for me.
Brooks, the
Yeah.
last one. JD, what's your favorite Harry Potter
Order the
movie?
Phoenix.
to.
Kristina, do you have a favorite Harry Potter movie?
I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
Okay, that's
Thank you
great.
for listening.
No, so we're just rewatching the movies, and actually we're halfway through Half-Blood Prince, and we stopped it so I can come and record the show. I have a lot of
Oh.
thoughts that I don't have
no.
enough time to share, but let me
Yeah.
just tell you this. Hogwarts is a trash school. The Ministry of Magic should have stepped in way before it did on whatever movie
Yes.
that was. I mean, I've just like can't believe how like they don't care about this kid. They're just like
I'm
letting
gonna
him.
send you
Anyway.
some
Let him
fan
fight his own
fiction.
battles.
I
Sorry.
literally, I'm gonna send you some. There's some really good TikToks, and they're really good compilations. I cry in every single one. Really good
Okay.
fanfic out there. So, anyways, but after Harry Potter, I loved Knives Out. Super recent, came out.
Oh,
Yes.
I love Knives Out.
It's-
Yes.
It got me in the
Yes.
funny bone.
Ugh.
It was very well written, and I just loved it in terms of like the movie itself.
The
Um,
acting, all
so
set
good.
design, costumes.
Incredible,
clean.
impeccable. Then coming in at number 3, we got that was 3. Number 4, we got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes,
Classic.
classic, Oh my
classic.
goodness.
And then coming in at number 5, I'm just gonna do an oldie because I used to watch it a lot growing up, and it's called Warriors. It's about New York.
Yes, I love that
Gang.
movie.
Yeah,
Warriors!
come out to play.
Literally
Oh, yeah.
used to be my like favorite movie growing up. So gotta round it out on my top 5. Thank you for listening. I'm here all day. Who's next?
Love it. Kristina.
Incredible list.
Okay. So my number 1 is The Mummy.
Oh, that's a good
Okay.
one.
Love The Mummy.
That's a goodie.
My
Okay.
twin's in that one.
We need a little more explanation for your number 1.
It's a great movie.
It's just, it's a great movie to go back to, like, whenever you're like, oh, I want to watch something, but I don't really know what to watch. And you can just watch it and you already know what's going on in the background. You can do, cleaning or whatever to it. And it's just good comedy.
Kristina, we are friends.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that. And the CGI is not that bad, even though it's so old. Like, it's an older movie. Yeah.
I will say never have I ever heard of Divergent or The Mummy in anyone's top movie list. So just mad props and respect.
Very unique.
Thanks.
I love it. And it's great. It's great.
Oh, I have a weird list, so wait.
Oh yeah. Love it. All
yeah. Right. My number 2 is Resident Evil.
This is amazing.
Okay, the first one was good. It was good.
Okay, so I love action movies. I have always wanted to be like a stunt person, like stunt actor, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's
why I think I love those kind of movies.
But that series went off the rails.
Okay, I said Resident Evil, like the first one.
Okay, yeah.
How many are there?
19.
Oh, there's like 5. Because I bought all the movies during the pandemic, and I was like, I'm gonna watch all these. And I got to one, I was like, I can't do this. And I have all the games too. I'm like a huge Resident Evil fan. I have all the games, and I went back. I was like, God, what the heck? What's happening?
Love it.
It really did go off the rails.
Are they making a new one? Are they making a new one?
It.
They're making a new one. Yeah.
Okay. I thought my brain was telling me that we're going to be hearing that again. Okay. Well, hey, we should all do a watch party.
I've never seen it, so
but it's one of those. It's one of those they need to reboot because it went so far off the rails. It was
Yikes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a Netflix original or something. I think.
Well, we could just do 7 episodes leading up to the release, and you guys can just. I'm joking.
Oh yeah. I got all the videos. We'll send them around so everyone can watch them.
Mummy, Resident Evil. This 1-2 knockout right there, Kristina. I mean, that is the list. I don't know if you.
So my third one might be Starship Troopers.
We are friends.
JD's freaking out.
No.
He's freaking out.
I love that movie.
It's a weird list. If you haven't seen Starship Troopers, it's so weird and so funny. Sci-fi action.
My favorite thing about that movie is there will be like a fatal accident or like something tragic will happen. Like you can't come back from it. Someone will get blown up and be like, medic! Like there's no coming back from this.
Like they're like in like 10 different pieces over there.
So
no.
If someone had a screenshot of a scene from that movie and Battlestar Galactica, I wouldn't be able to pick which is which. I get those two confused.
You're missing out.
There's bugs in one.
That's the difference.
Big bugs.
Little propaganda videos, and they're like, kids, do your parts. And they're like stomping on ants and like roaches.
And there's goo everywhere. Is that 3?
That's
I got 3.
3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 3.
So I love Eep Man. I love movies. Is it
Okay.
Eep or Ip? I think I said it wrong. But there's that, and then probably Alien.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Incredible. I love how these lists are so different, just in style and genre.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
My
amazing.
TV show goes a whole different route, so wait for that one.
Great. JD, what you got, man? Let's hear your 5.
Top movie is Gladiator. I can watch it all day, every day, forever. I love that movie. Number 2 is The Mummy because it is a great.
No.
Yes, it is. I love that movie. I will watch it again and again. The first 2 movies, fantastic. I love them. The third one, trash.
So going into this, you both separately put The Mummy in this list.
Yes.
Oh, listen to our first episode.
I now I want to watch it and see what I'm missing.
Have you
out
not
on, 'cause
seen it?
I saw it in theaters when it came out. I haven't seen it since. haven't been like.
I think I'm the
No.
same, Chase. I
Yeah.
don't think
I
I've seen
feel
it
like
since,
it's a cult classic.
I know.
Apparently,
A lot of
Or
people love
eventually
it.
will.
Though. It's like if you love it, you
It's
love
so
it.
funny.
Like I have a
Oh my gosh.
Man, all right. JD, number 2, The Mummy.
Okay, number
Gosh.
3 is Chasing Mavericks.
Mm.
I don't know
I don't know
why.
that.
I've never
It's
seen
a
that.
surfer movie.
No,
It's
I haven't
about
either.
Jay
Been a
Moriarty.
while.
He was like this really cool surfer back in the day. He passed away, unfortunately. But it's such a feel-good movie. I'll always watch this movie whenever I see it, for whatever reason. Number
Down the
4 is my sleep movie. So if I need to fall asleep,
Okay.
this is the movie that I put
Mhm.
on. It works
Very
every
important.
single time. It never fails. Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Angelina Jolie, the first
Wow.
one, and I fall asleep every single time. It's like the loudest scene in the movie when they're like breaking into her house. There's like gunfire all over the place, and that's when I go to sleep.
It just lulls
Love
you.
that.
That's so funny.
I have no
Man.
idea why, but that is like, it's my sleep movie. Okay, and my
Interesting.
last favorite movie is The Breakfast Club.
Because
I love-
Aw.
A
Wait, was that
classic.
5 or only
that-
4?
That's
That's
5.
5.
That's fine.
Gladiator,
Yeah.
Mummy.
That
Chasing
almost made my
Mavericks.
list.
It is a
Tomb
good
Raider.
one.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club
I
almost made my
love
list.
Breakfast Club. I'll always watch it.
yeah.
I watch it every March on the day because
But they're
I'm
in.
nostalgic that way.
Aw,
JD, have you seen the movie 8th Grade by
I
chance?
have not.
Oh, so good.
that's sad.
Bo Burnham. It's his directorial debut. I feel like it's this generation's Breakfast Club. Although it's different, but it's just such a perfect window into.
Yeah. I love
feel like
all those
adolescent
John
life.
Hughes movies. So like the top
Yeah.
4,
Oh, love them.
Adventures,
Like coming of age, dude. Check out 8th Grade.
Adventures in
You gotta check it out.
Babysitting, Ferris Bueller. Like I love all
Yeah.
those movies. And if you haven't seen the
Yeah.
core
Nice.
4, then we're not friends.
Mhm. Brooks, I'm gonna list my 5, and then we'll wrap it up with you, and then we'll go to TV shows. All right.
Okay,
All right.
yep,
So
I'm prepared. I'm ready.
okay.
Mhm.
So I have Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh,
Oh,
Heartbreaker.
I don't think
Have
I've
you been
seen
to
it.
Iceland? Doesn't it just make you want to go to Iceland?
Yeah, and I have a movie poster. I'm staring at it right now. I just love it. I love the cinematography. I love the soundtrack. I love how he daydreams and just like gets lost in that.
Mm-hmm.
I just when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, someone else does that. Like I was just like, I feel like that was so. Anyway, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Second one is E.T. I watch
Cute.
E.T. all the time. Cute, thanks. All the time at my grandma's house. And I love the soundtrack again. John Williams classic.
It is
I
so
just
good.
love Spielberg as well. E.T. Super 8 is kind of speaks to this filmmaking creation, like again, kind of like a coming of age story of these kids in it was filmed in West Virginia, and I don't know if it's set in West Virginia.
Oh my god! I've never seen the movie, but I went to school in West Virginia for college, so everyone always talks
Where?
about it.
I was born in West Virginia.
Were you really? I went to WU.
You went to
Morgantown.
Morgantown? No
Yeah.
way. All
Yeah.
like my friends went there. My aunt and uncle live in Morgantown. Anyway,
Sorry.
nice. Yeah. So yeah, Super 8, J.J. Abrams,
That's crazy.
monster. It was.
That's a
I
good movie.
just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard a lot about it.
It's fun. Pop some popcorn, turn it up, just turn your brain off. Great. The Dark Knight. I really enjoyed the build up to that movie. They did a lot of like guerrilla marketing with some websites. It was just a lot of hype that I really remember just getting so excited about the film. And I think I saw it too many times in the theater.
I'm so sorry, but every time I've watched it, I've fallen asleep. I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
It's okay. No, it's good.
And everyone's
No.
like, "What the hell?" I had the DVD. I tried.
Mhm.
I tried 7 times.
We'll watch it together.
I'm gonna fall asleep. That's my sleep movie, I think.
That's your sleep movie.
Really just enjoy it. Got into Batman. I was a Batman season of my life. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So the Dark Knight, that's 4. We said 5.
Yes.
I had Star Wars: A New Hope in there. adventure and just kind of like the OG. But I didn't feel good about putting it in there. There was other ones. I really like Jojo Rabbit, a little more recent one.
Oh, I love Jojo Rabbit. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
We watched Knives Out and Jojo Rabbit back to back. So we were just like blown away by like movie, like this is amazing.
They were the same Oscar
good
season.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Right.
It was that and Parasite.
Cinematography, everything's so beautiful in that movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Cried obviously in that one, of course.
I considered putting Parasite on my list, actually.
I did too.
Same.
It was.
I haven't seen Parasite. I thought about Good Will Hunting. I really like that one. I love The Princess Bride too. But I went with those 5. I could watch those anytime, any place.
Yeah.
Parasite, you got to watch that one. It's
really good.
Wow. It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And
really incredible.
I'll watch that right after we do The Mummy. Do Mummy and Parasite.
And your Harry Potter series.
Yeah, we're taking our time with that. All right, Brooks.
I'm so excited.
Let's hear it.
I want you guys to go. All right, listen. This is like this. My number one is a movie that I have watched really recently a bunch of times. It is Eurovision.
Ooh,
really?
It's Will Ferrell's new movie that came out.
I've heard it was bad.
So Rachel McAdams.
Oh my God! Whoever told you it was bad, kill them. It is not bad. It's so good. We watched it like 6 times. It just got nominated for Best Original Song.
Yeah, like
the finale song. It's like the best song ever. We listen to the soundtrack all the time. Jake has pre-ordered the soundtrack on vinyl. I'm freaking obsessed with this movie. It's Will Ferrell at his best. It's it's Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
Absolutely at her best. It is quirky and strange and so fun. And okay, Kristen, writing a comedy song that is also a good song is like almost impossible to do. And they do it over and over again in this movie in a way that I find incredibly impressive.
So you said Eurovision. I thought you were referring to Euro Trip. I have not seen that new Eurovision
movie. Which is not Euro Trip. Eurovision, it came out like this time last year, I think, but it got bumped from the theaters. They just released it on streaming. It's fantastic. Go and watch it. It's so funny.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yes, I'm telling you, we're so obsessed with it. I made my dad watch it recently. It's so good. Okay, Eurovision number 1. Number 2, Drop Dead Gorgeous. Anyone? Okay. This was a movie, big movie for me in high school, big comedy movie for me that really inspired a lot of stuff. It's like Kirstie Alley and Kirsten Dunst and Brooke Shields, and the list goes on.
Is it the pageant one?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good one.
Minnesota pageants. She's like, oh, they should have the parking lot of America to go with the Mall of America. Okay, it's all quotable. It's a fantastic movie. It's so funny. It's also like highly like it's on society and pageants in the Midwest and all that stuff. Okay, who's seen Chicken Run?
Yes.
I love Chicken Run so much, and I heard that they're making a second one.
My life flashed before my eyes. That's
right. We're on holiday.
Is that Wallace and Gromit?
Wallace and Gromit. Yeah. It's like claymation. It's fantastic. Such a good movie. This is one of my dad and I's favorite movies together. This is a documentary. Number 4 is a documentary you've probably never seen. It's called Genghis Blues.
Yes.
And it's about a blind blues singer who becomes obsessed with Tuvan throat singing and travels to Tuva to compete in a Tuvan throat singing competition.
That's a real sentence.
Really old documentary, super low budget. Although, interestingly, Christopher Nolan, it was like one of the first films he ever worked on. It is so good, you guys. Although I will disclaimer this and say that I recently made my documentary club watch it and everyone else hated it. But it is one of my favorite movies. I think in order to enjoy it, you have to think that Tuvan throat singing is cool, or at least not horribly obnoxious, because there's a lot of it in the film, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Tuvan throat singing is like that thing where you're like, hello, you like sing on different octaves at the same time and you circular breathing. It's insanely hard and impressive. Okay, final movie, Forrest Gump.
Oh,
yes. Okay, yeah.
A classic.
Good movie, yeah.
It's that movie for me is one that I'll just watch anytime it's on. Just let it run. I'll watch it.
Love it.
That's a good
list.
That
was fun.
Those were really great lists. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very
okay. So let's go to TV shows. Kristina, what do you got?
Ooh, okay. This one's a lot better than my movie list. I got
A great
Always
movie
Sunny,
list.
of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Always Sunny in
Okay.
Philadelphia.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite shows. 14 seasons, going to 18 seasons. Whoop, whoop.
Great TV show.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, I keep
Anything.
meaning to watch Killing Eve.
I've never watched it
It's
either.
so good. Sandra Oh is amazing.
Yeah,
She's an
she
amazing
is.
actress, and
She is,
anything
she is
she's
good.
in is fabulous. So, I've got The Boys.
Oh man,
Yes.
yeah.
I haven't watched that.
So good. So good. If you haven't
Boys
watched
is
it,
dark, man. It's dark.
Oh yeah,
It's
no, I
nasty.
can't.
I
I don't
love
do
it.
that.
What's a log line for boys? Like what is it really quick? I don't know if I'm familiar.
It's on Amazon Prime.
yeah.
It's those kids, no?
It's those superheroes that are like crazy.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's like when superheroes go bad.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's deeper than that. It's like
It's
kind of
so
it's also
good.
about like corporate America and consumerism and
Isms.
Not what you think.
All
it
the
is.
isms.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a high concept like commentary on society.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Never watched
I
it.
got Schitt's Creek, of course.
Love Schitt's
That's my
Creek.
Schitt's Creek is one of my sleep shows these
So
days. And I
good.
just
I love it.
love it.
It's a top TV show for a reason. The comedy
Mhm.
is spectacular.
Yes.
And then I have Firefly.
It went away too soon.
I've not seen Firefly.
I know. There's only one season
I know.
and a movie,
Just oh my
and
God.
it's so good. It's just a classic, and it has like a cult following, even though it has like one season. But it's
Yeah.
so great. I love it.
I've heard
But
of
that's
that
my-
movie on more lists than Mummy.
Firefly.
Firefly?
Yes.
Well, see,
that doesn't shock
surprisingly-
me.
there's a lot of people who think that movie's awful because they never saw the TV show.
Right.
They saw the movie and they're like, "What is this? Does it make?" Have you seen the TV show?
Yeah,
That's
gotcha.
why.
I haven't seen both. And you know what? I will. I will.
Yeah, you should.
We're all coming
think
out of
it's on
this with, like a
Netflix.
lot of homework.
What does your list look like?
So my list looks exactly like my movies. Really, I'm really dynamic. I'm like so crazy. Number one, I love sketch comedy, like I said before, and I like grew up in Living Color. So I absolutely love In Living Color, all the Wayans brothers, all the Wayans, honestly, every single one. So that's number one. I just have every single one is comedy, and now I feel like I have to change it. So I'm
Don't
gonna
change
go-
it.
Not.
No, don't
Off-
change it.
With your gut.
Number two, Broad City. I just love Broad City. Love Abby and Alana. Love them together and love their writing.
Iconic.
That's my number 6.
Yeah, right. Then I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm obsessed with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's so good. I love the cast and the writing. Like their cold opens are my favorite cold opens of any show I've ever seen. Incredible. And then a new one, Pen 15. I love Pen
Keep
15.
meaning to watch it.
Forgot
I need to
about
watch
that
it.
It is so good.
Hilarious.
It's so
I watched
good.
it because of Kristen.
Yeah, because I
It's
talk it up
amazing.
way too much. Actually, it's like
Yeah.
they should
I
hire me.
binged it. I binged it and I was so sad. I finished it in like a week.
It's just so good, and just like I think I just love like really good casts, and these are like all like solid people who actually like each other, and you can tell, and it's just like shows through their comedy.
Leslie ugly cried like so many times during Pin 15. Just like we had to pause it because she was like borderline hyperventilating. And it wasn't even at like a specific, it was just like one way they said a certain thing or sat a
Yes.
certain way or like communicated with each other. Like it was just like she had a different experience watching it than I did.
Maya,
It's also
Maya
super
Ishii.
cringy.
It's
I love
so
that.
cringy.
Very
I love
much.
cringe.
Yeah.
And then to just put an actual like not comedy, I'm gonna do sorry. I'm gonna
don't have one?
do no, I do have one. I have a lot. And
And the one that I have that's coming out of my
and
mouth,
it's
I'm going to
coming
say
out of
it
my
now.
lips right now. It's called The Good Doctor. It's random. It's kind of like Grey's Anatomy, which I don't watch, but
Christina
it's-
just made a thing.
did she?
You had a moment
Real
just
show.
now when you said that. She was like, "Don't you dare compare that."
I mean, it is. It's just a doctor show. It's a medical show, and I like it a lot.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Okay, so my list starts with The West Wing because it's an amazing show and I love it, and I will watch it again and again and again. I have these shows that I will just cycle through because nothing good comes out. My second one is the first season of Prison Break.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Specific.
I know what you're talking about.
It is. After the first season, it went off the rails. The second season was like, okay, and then off the rails, and it just went away. So done. Number 3 is 24 because
oh my God, it's on my list too. JD, yes.
Jack Bauer is incredible.
Jack Bauer, baby.
My Wi-Fi name is CTU, but I will say for a facility called CTU, the counterterrorism unit, they got broken into like every
truly
season.
so much. Truly
like,
so much.
Like, this place
Also,
is not secure.
Okay, JD, in my whole life, I've never been more affected by a scene more than when Edgar dies.
Yes! Oh my gosh,
Talk to
Edgar.
me.
Oh my
Talk
God,
to me.
spoiler.
That was
I'm
so
gonna have to
sad.
bleep that out.
Okay, it is a spoiler, I guess, technically, but
I'll
also
bleep
this
it.
aired
I'm
like
gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to.
17 years ago.
Too bad. So, like I said, CTU gets broken into every single season.
Yes.
This particular season, they put a nerve gas in the ventilation system.
Yes.
And Edgar was the one who went and like turned off the HVAC
He
system.
saved everyone.
But he got hit with the nerve gas, and he's coming back to the room where everyone is, and he starts to like fall down and like foam from the mouth, and Edgar dies.
Should have had the good doctor.
He
was extremely affecting that episode. Like,
but he was kind of annoying because he was getting in Chloe's way for a minute, but and then he died.
Yeah. 24. I mean, honestly, that was, listen, we don't need to spend this entire show talking about 24, although we could. But let me just make this point, because I was going to talk about it in my section too, but it was groundbreaking TV.
Yes.
Real time. It was like the premise was that you watched it in real time. It was 24 episodes and each of them were an hour and everything happened in real time, you guys. It was insane. It was insane in 2004 or whatever.
Whenever it was.
Well, I never watched any 24. I apologize. Did they show like when they used the bathroom or like charging phones?
No.
Of course not. They didn't.
Wow.
No one charged phones. No one ate.
Eat.
No one slept.
Yeah.
They stayed up for 24 hours. They had the worst days
If it's a
ever.
national security, I would expect you to be able to stay up for 24 hours and maybe not eat. But hey, when you got to go.
Occasionally, Jack Bauer would change his shirt so we could get a topless shot.
My favorite thing was he was like, he would answer his phone, Bauer. Like, it was great. Okay, so number 4, and I'm not sure how this got on the list. Oh, actually, I do know how this got on the list. I was in college. It was in the middle of the second season when I was watching it. And this particular episode captivated me. And I was like, what is this show? And I started from the beginning and I've loved it ever since. Bones.
People love that show.
It's a great show.
It's pretty good. I haven't watched it in full, but I also watched one episode and I was like, what?
I just finished rewatching. The episode I watched, they were like trapped underground in a car. They were like buried alive. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So I started over and it was great.
How are they going to get out of this?
Yeah. I was like, what other things have they gotten into? And so my last one, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this one, but I used to watch this in like middle school and I love it. Degrassi.
Hey.
I was rewatching it during quarantine. It's so
everything that could have ever happened at any high school in all of America happened at Degrassi Junior High School.
I love Degrassi.
That was about junior high. That was about junior high.
It was like a junior high school. It was like mixed.
Yeah.
But like every problem that ever happened at any school in the entire nation happened at Degrassi.
Wow.
Like school shootings, drugs.
And that's the one Drake
wife
was
beater
on, right?
boyfriend. Yeah, like everything that happened. It was like a soap opera.
I highly suggest rewatching it because I was doing it recently and I was like, this is
it's
who let
for
this be on
free
TV?
On YouTube. You can watch the whole series on YouTube right now.
Yep.
Tune in.
Wow.
It's so good.
Terry deserved better. I'm just gonna say that.
She did.
Terry's boyfriend was a wife beater. It was like,
oh my gosh.
It's so bad. They're literally so young. These kids are going through like real old ass shit. It's
my
so
gosh.
sad.
JT deserved better too.
Oh my god, yes he did.
Just gonna throw that out there. Okay, I'm done.
So did Liberty. Okay.
All right.
Oh my gosh, yes, Liberty deserved better. Okay, I'm sorry. Go.
I feel like no one in that show got a fair shake. JD's like, everyone deserved better at Degrassi.
They all deserved better.
Everyone did.
Jake
right.
deserved better. Okay, I'm done.
The first on my list is Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering if someone was going to say that.
Yeah, I
did the first SNL.
Love SNL.
It's so hit and miss for me.
Recently, yeah.
No.
Everyone always says that though,
No.
because it takes
Yeah.
So I feel like when you first see them, they often like don't resonate that well. But then,
I mean, I love Kate McKinnon, but I'm
Oh my
saying,
God.
absolutely.
it's
she's
hit
like
and
the
miss.
most talented person in the whole world.
And Kristen Wiig, I used to.
Kristen,
So-
if you're listening.
I'm so sorry, but
So what
So sorry.
what they're able to do, and I know everyone can appreciate like what they can do, provide commentary on culture and news. I love it. I love how it's fresh every every season. There's new people that get to put their own spin on things. It's just if you watched any of the episodes in February, with not Nick Jonas's episode notwithstanding, it was every single episode was hysterical. The guy from Bridgerton hosted one.
I didn't see
Brilliant.
that one
So good, yeah.
Who was she starred in HBO's Watchmen. What's her name?
Oh, Kerry
Regina-
Washington.
Yes,
Not Kerry Washington. Oh my
yet.
God,
Isn't it
not
Regina
her.
King or is it not?
It
It's
is Regina
Regina
King.
King.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
I see
hosted.
Kerry Washington.
And there was someone else that I forget, but those like back to back episodes, like every sketch was on. It was so good. And it's when you don't know what to expect. I just feel like we love it. It's a show we've watched. We started watching it together. We were dating. I watched it before then. It's just, we've seen it live, which I think helps make it feel like we really like love. Like,
Oh, you
connected to
have.
it. We have.
I wanna do that.
Josh Brolin and Gautier, when he was promoting Men in Black.
Did you really?
Yeah, we were at that episode.
So
It was the first show that they aired a Californian sketch, and no one in the studio
Whoa,
audience.
See, that's cool.
Yeah,
no
that
one
is.
laughed. No one knew what was going on. I felt like
See,
bombed.
this is what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
No one knew what was going on at all. But they were breaking on set, so everyone was just kind of like nervous laughing. It was the weirdest experience.
I
but
love when people break. Oh, my favorite.
Oh my gosh. We got to anyway, SNL number one. It's always it's on my heart. Number two, Psych. There's another show that
Yes.
Sean and Gus for life.
That's random.
yeah,
I love that show.
I do love Psych though.
so good. Another show Leslie and I watched
Also rewatched that in quarantine.
together.
That's my number 6. Okay.
number 6. It took a couple seasons to find its footing. The first one, a little different, but once they found their groove, it was a delight. Very good. The third one, I don't know if this counts as well, but I'm gonna Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
And I don't know if talk shows count. That it just caught me at the perfect time of life. I was end of high school, into college, where I had my own TV and I could stay up and watch stuff. And I felt like really shaped some comedic influences of mine. I loved it. So Conan O'Brien going to number 3. Late Night with Conan. It wasn't, Tonight Show, his CBS show, whatever. But Late Night specifically, number 3. 4, I'm gonna put Breaking Bad instead of The Sopranos. The Breaking Bad was, I think, one of the first like real adult shows that I watched that was like a true drama. And it was just a whole new world of whoa, like this is crazy, like oh my gosh.
I never watched it.
It was a good show. I just felt like it had some slow times. And when those slow times came, it was like turned off. And the last time they had a slow time, I haven't picked it back up. And that was like 10 years ago.
Sure. So I think because it was our first experience. Now we just watched Sopranos all the way through when our son was born. And I think they're very similar shows.
Yeah.
but we watched Breaking Bad first, so that, and then I'm gonna add Barry to the list. I don't know if you guys have watched Barry.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, it's so good.
Barry's amazing.
What is this?
It's such a good dark comedy.
Bill Hader, HBO.
Bill Hader is like the second most talented person in the whole world.
You love
Yes.
Bill Hader.
Ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's a serial killer assassin who goes to LA
To
does he go
quit.
to LA to quit
he
or to
quits.
do a hit?
No. Well,
He wants to quit, or he happens to be in LA. He wants to
Yeah.
quit, and
Takes
he's like,
up-
"I'm going to be an actor."
Takes up acting,
Yeah.
but then it becomes a cover, but then he's trying to get, like, it's this, anyway, he's an assassin and he's also an actor. I don't know.
but
it's
it's also
brilliant.
a really dark, like it's pretty dark,
Yeah.
but incredible and also funny somehow.
All right, so that's my 5.
Never
SNL,
watched it.
Psych, Conan, Breaking Bad, and Barry. Brooks,
Those are good.
bring us home.
All right, my number 1 is Veep.
Yes, I had that on my
yes.
list, and I
I forgot
couldn't.
about
There was
that.
no room. There was no
Yeah,
room. But
that
I love
almost
it.
made my
It's
list.
so good.
Julie
And
Louis-Dreyfus.
it's been my sleep show lately. I've been
hilarious. I
playing
love
it
that
so
show.
good.
until I fall asleep. It's just brilliant in every way.
Yep.
American Vandal. Have you all seen it? I think it's
Yes.
HBO. It
feel
is
like
a
I've seen it.
mockumentary.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh, I
about-
did see that. That's
Oh,
random.
that's like
The
Yeah.
schools, right?
Yes.
dick.
Who drew the
Yeah.
dicks?
That's
It is
random.
incredible.
No, it's really funny.
Incredible television. There's
Yeah.
a second
I
season
love
out
that.
too, which is
It's
also
about
very
poop,
good.
right?
Yeah.
The second one's about poop. Yeah.
Hey, Jabuki wrote for season 2, Brooks.
That's right. I
Yeah.
know. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very good. Incredible writing, great acting. Everything about it is fantastic.
good.
It's
Yeah.
just really
Easy watch.
Yes.
I'm gonna say The Simpsons because I was raised on The Simpsons. It's an iconic TV
Interesting.
show. The Simpsons
Yep.
has predicted everything that's ever happened in our society. And
Can I
I haven't watched it a lot recently, but I grew up on it and it was our bread and butter at home. So.
I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons or Ren and Stimpy, which
I love
was very sad. So I ended up downloading South Park on the internet because my parents didn't know what the internet or South Park was. So I watched South Park. But no, yeah, Simpsons, gotta love
Yeah,
it.
we watched The Simpsons as a family and really
Aw.
identified with them. Because we had a cat and a dog and a girl and 2 kids. Well, I guess they had a baby. We didn't have the baby, but okay. The Simpsons. Oh, I already said 24. We talked about that. We don't need to go back, but that show's good. Okay, and then my last one, and this is gonna be weird. Frasier.
Oh, yes. I love Frasier.
It's my comfort show. It's often my sleep show as an adult. When I'm having a lot of anxiety, I put Frasier on. Niles Crane is one of the best characters that has ever been on television, and it's worth watching just for him,
Yes.
quite frankly.
Before we dive into Up Next, I just, no one mentioned The Office. No one mentioned Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, all of that whole, the only thing we got in even The Good Place, which was brilliant.
Absolutely.
The only one we mentioned in that family was kind of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Does it make anyone else mad when you see everyone just like quoting, loving The Office, and you're like, what? I just feel like you're doing that because everyone else thinks that they should be doing that. Does
So
anyone else
listen.
feel that way?
In college, I was about to watch this TV show, and these kids came into the dorm, into the lobby, and put The Office on. They were like, "You guys, we're gonna watch The Office. Whatever you're watching, forget about it." And ever since then, I have hated The Office on principle.
Someone
that.
ruined it for you. Someone
Someone
ruined it
did
for you.
that. Someone did that.
Kara, if you're listening to this, it was you.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Gotta do the
Clout.
shout out. JD, there's
I-
a possibility she's going to
There
do
is a
that.
possibility. Sorry, Karen.
I love
Tim,
that.
Tim was there too, so it was you. Like, okay.
I do
Jeez.
I do have one. It goes like kind of above my Always Sunny that I forgot to mention because I didn't think of it because it's a reality show,
Mhm.
which is Survivor.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Classic.
it's I've watched all 40 seasons, obsessed. I've tried to audition like 3 times, so hopefully this
That
year's
would
my
be
year.
awesome.
That would
Another
be
show
really
you guys
cool.
should check out, which is kind of in the Survivor family, is called Hunted. It's a British show. They did an
Oh.
American version for 1 season, but they get these people, they send them into the city of London, like downtown, and they're like, you have to stay 28 days. And if you stay hidden, you will win like $250,000, something like that.
Oh, I
Told me
would
about
love
this.
that.
So there's partners. They all have a partner, and they like go out and they have to like extraction point on the 28th day to like win the big prize. And there's hunters, and they're all like ex-CIA, ex-MI5, ex-military, hunting these people down. It is an awesome show.
That's insane.
That sounds nice.
I like that.
There's 4
Crazy.
seasons
Hey.
on Prime. Go for it.
One more question. Anyone ever seen Derek on Netflix?
Derek.
No.
Derek, Ricky Gervais. It's
Oh,
I
I
don't
do
know if
love
there was a
Ricky,
second
though.
season. Yeah, I don't know if it's still on there. Watched it, gosh, 6-7 years ago. Really, really good. Check it out if you can. Derek, we watched it on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. Hey, Kristen and Kristina, tell us about Up Next. If anyone's still listening at the 50-minute mark.
No.
We know you
Like-
are.
Yes, tell us about Up Next and what this is going to look like moving forward.
Yeah. So you actually kind of like you made the perfect segue earlier too, when you were talking about SNL and how you love it because it's so fresh and like it's up to date. And that's kind of the vibe that we want to bring with Up Next. We're giving you like the freshest, hottest content that's out on the top streaming services, which the top, because there's over 200 streaming services in case you're wondering.
Too many.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
200.
Hell,
We looked it up.
We've
It's a lot.
Googled it several
Mind
times.
blown.
Because
that
it's
gives me
disgusting.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's 9 of them.
Exactly. We all know like the top, and that's what we're going to be focusing on because we would, if you want it. No, I'm just kidding. But our show, because we have a bunch of segments, but the main part is that every week or every episode, I should say, we're going to be discussing faves and least faves and just
Hidden gems.
We'll basically keep that fresh for you.
For instance,
Yeah.
the Falcon and the Winter
love it.
Soldier is dropping
Yes.
probably as you're listening to this today, Friday, and that will be fun. But for example, like when Bird Box came out a couple Christmases ago, boom, you guys would at some point have a conversation about that, or Tiger King. Is that what that show was called?
Bridgerton.
Yeah. Ooh,
yes.
Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What was that chess?
Queen's Gambit.
Oh,
Queen's
it's so
Gambit.
good. Yes.
Yeah. Industry. Anyone watch Industry?
No.
It's
Flight attendant. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
flight attendant. Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
guys-
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and you guys are going to do the best. You guys, no one else I would rather have host it than Kristen and Kristina.
The
So,
K's.
Tina.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
We're excited.
Good.
Also, it gives us a chance to watch things we probably wouldn't ever watch.
Mhm.
So that's also going to be a plus for us as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Trailer is available now, and the first episode drops on the 24th on Wednesday. We are 6, if you're listening to us on a Friday, 5 days away from the first episode. Make sure you go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Type in Up Next and subscribe. They would greatly appreciate it. We would greatly appreciate it.
And then love it. And then tell your friends about it. And then if you hate it, tell your friends still, because tell your frenemies.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Chase Smith Podcast. Thank you all so much for downloading and listening. Shouts to the Press Play Podcast Network for making this possible. Follow us on Twitter at Press Play Pods. Visit our website, pressplaypodcast.com, to keep up to date on all of our shows and network news. Shouts to the Press Play team, Brookes and JD. Thank you so much. A dream come true. We did it.
Woo! What a party. This was great. Thanks, Chase.
We did it. Shouts to our very special guests, Kristen and Kristina. Thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait for Wednesday. It's going to be fantastic.
We cannot wait.
Yeah. Super excited.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So a part of this mega podcast, Falcon and the Winter Soldier just had the season finale on Friday, and I want to talk about it. So I asked 2 of my good friends, Tyler Patrick, I call him JTP, and Damon Royster, to come on the show and to talk about it with me. JTP hosts the Krypton Report, part of Southgate Media Group. Ty, dude, it's good to talk to you, man.
Good to talk to you, man. I'm glad to be here back on the Chase Miss podcast after almost 10-year hiatus.
It's been a minute, about 2.5 years. Haven't really dropped an episode since we launched Press Play, but we are back with a vengeance with like an 1.5 to 2 hour episode. We'll see what happens. And also, Damon, man, it is so good to talk to. I haven't talked to in a while as well. Damon, a Chicagoland actor, writer, comedian, this all around hilarious, funny guy. Damon, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. I'm just, the shirt just came in the mail, so I'm wearing it. Kind of my big highlight today.
Nice. Yes. So I wanted to talk with you guys specifically about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier because you're some of the biggest comic book fans that I know. You eat this stuff up, and I'm just kind of like a casual consumer. I don't know a lot of the I had no clue. So we're going to be talking about spoilers. If you haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, stop listening now because we're going to be talking about all of the content that happened, all 6 episodes there, and then probably maybe dive into WandaVision spoilers as well. But I had no clue, really, except from the end of Endgame that Captain America gave his shield up and there was another person playing Captain America. I had no idea who Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character was. The whole, like, you're now the U.S. agent for John Walker. I just have no clue what any of that means. And so I'm just watching this like wide-eyed, like, yeah, okay, yeah. And so to kind of help us focus this conversation, I want to just start, Damon, with you. What were some of your favorite moments from specifically this series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the 6-episode run? Because I think there were a lot of highlights here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, top of mind is the Dora Milaje, like the Wakanda guards showing up to recollect Zemo. I love seeing them. Man, we're just going to have a spoiler right at the top. The fact that Sharon Carter is the power broker, that made me so happy, and I got to shove it in my brother's face because he kept telling me I was wrong, but I wasn't. And honestly, I love seeing that French bad guy come back. What's his name? Bertrand
the Leaper.
The Leaper.
Zemo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's Zemo.
Batroc.
Yeah, Batroc.
Okay.
Or I always think of him as Bum Voyage from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
I just expect him to say, hello, Mr. Incroyable. Yeah, I think those are like the standout moments from the whole season. And just that suit. I like the suit. I'm a fan of the new Falcon suit.
I am too. We're going to talk about the Dora Milaje. We're going to talk about Wakanda, Power Broker in detail a little bit later. Ty, what are some of your favorite moments from the series?
Some of my favorite moments actually, like, it's not a happy, good moment, but I really liked Bucky, his arc, how it came back with him actually going to the father and telling him what happened to his son. I just thought that was great. Just, completing that arc. Because sometimes I think the characters get bottled down with, are they actually going to get a good arc? Other thing, like, I really enjoyed just the training montage, because I watched the last episode, just with the kids the other day, of like Anthony Mackie, Falcon, like doing the training and running and like getting like pumped. It was a very like just inspirational period because the kids were just both like, yeah, like, and then it was.
I think there were 2 montages in that penultimate episode, like his Captain America's shield training and then like the boat restoration montage. They were like kind of like montage scene. It was like there were a couple montages throughout the series. I'm always up for a good montage.
I mean, you need them, like, because just to help cover that ground, because it also just builds that excitement. Because so, I mean, the opening scene of like just the Falcon was fun, where he's like, he's taking out everybody and flying. It just really helped you jump back into that world and just had that smile on your face, much like the opening of Winter Soldier when Cap just jumps out the doesn't need the parachute and you're just like smiling, like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
So
some of my favorite moments from the series, I just love the whole Bucky Sam vibe, the whole like buddy cop, like they're not friends and now like they're really brothers. I really enjoyed that whole vibe. Any like friendship kind of like deepening and like loyalty, I'm a sucker for. I really enjoyed the fight sequences. Seeing like the show start with Falcon flying and fighting Batroc, and then the end again, kind of like bookend in the series. Love a good Winter Soldier, and it was kind of convoluted sometimes, but I mean, you're watching a Marvel comic. It's Marvel Comics. I just enjoy what you're watching. I loved our trip to Madripoor. I had no clue that place was real. Like in the comic books, it was just a lot of fun to explore a new place and to kind of see, whoa, this place is nuts. And then, really enjoyed John Walker's presence in the show. I thought he added a lot to the show. You have to have that. We really didn't know what was going to happen and they really didn't explain, like, is Cap dead? Seriously, is like Steve Rogers, is he dead? I mean, I know he's old, but they didn't really tell like what happened. Damon, where is Steve Rogers right now?
Thank you for asking. I officially know.
He's on the moon, right?
He's on the moon. Here's my take. I don't think they're going to get okay, real world answer. Chris Evans is never going to do a TV show for the amount of money they probably would pay him. So I think in the Marvel world, I think that what do I want to say? That he is alive with Peggy, but he's like in hiding. But Sam and Bucky are like telling the world, "Oh yeah, don't worry about him. He's gone." Because officially, I don't think anyone knows if he survived that battle with Thanos. I think they're just saying, "Oh, he perished," before the Iron Man snap.
That's kind of where I am. Is like,
wasn't he at? Oh, because he wasn't at the funeral.
Oh, he was. Oh, you're right. He was there.
But it wasn't old Cap. But it's just those people, though.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was open to the media to see.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
funeral.
So I take it
that
old Steve. I kind of still feel that Peggy's dead. Like I feel like that kind of still lined up with where it happened, and old Steve is just retired somewhere. Like he maybe changed his name, maybe he's Steve Carter or something. Like I feel like he's still out there, but he's retired. Like
I expected him to make an appearance to like kind of like either save John Walker from like, that's not what Captain America, like after he murdered, like brutally, like decapitated and like decavitized this dude with the shield. I expected Old Man Cap to kind of show up and say something. And maybe they're saving that reveal for a movie or some other big moment. I don't think we're done with Old Man Cap. Ty, are we done? Are we ever going to see Chris Evans in the Marvel universe again?
I mean, I say you never can say never, because jumping back, like the Black Widow movie proves that they're not afraid of going back and doing movies that fill in different time spots. Because Black Widow takes place before Endgame. It's like right after Civil War is when the Black Widow movie is. So they're not afraid of changing up time. But, in one respect, I felt like Chase, like, oh, is Old Man Cap, Steve going to appear maybe to Bucky or to Sam? But at the same time, I'm like, as soon as you do that, the show becomes about him. Because now you're like,
yes.
So
which the show was not about Steve Rogers. It was about, it was about,
he was there like as
the Falcon and Bucky. Mm-hmm. It's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and almost more Sam than Bucky. I mean, one of my favorite moments, and I didn't say this, I want to say it, was the very end credit scene, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That was
amazing.
That was beautiful. And so I think the show was about him, and you can't have a show about Captain America without having the Winter Soldier, without looking at everything else that goes with that. But this was Sam Wilson center stage the whole time.
It's very much, I think, about like not the ghost, but like the spirit of Steve, like what he represented, almost as if he is really dead. And the two people that were his friends at different times are now, and like you said, I like the idea that you have these two people who are kind of friends because of a shared friend, but are they really friends?
I wouldn't say they were friends at first.
But, go back and watch the little bit of their interaction, like in Civil War when they're fighting Spider-Man, and like
they got mopped.
Yeah. There's little times you can see where they're starting to build some sort of friendship. It's kind of like,
there's something,
and this is about them actually becoming real friends.
All right. So let's talk about what worked and what didn't work. Ty, you mentioned the spirit of Captain America. Sam, that was on full display with Sam Wilson, Captain America's speech in that series finale with the GRC. Like Captain America's superpower, like he has a super serum, but he also does like these super awesome speeches. We saw it in game. Like, was it Rock? I was like, man, this guy's pretty good at this. And now we kind of see Sam step into that role and have these passionate speeches, but it was kind of preachy, Damon. We hear about it Second City sometimes. Don't be too on the nose about some of these things. Help us work through some of the on the nose issues that the show addressed. Was it too on the nose? What did that work for you?
It worked for me, but I do understand that it didn't work for everybody. I've heard it compared to like, an 80s, 90s, like I'm surprised there wasn't a slow clap at the end.
Like the more like NBC star fly across. Yeah.
But I liked it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I needed some inspiration in my life. And like, what a bleak year this has been. Like, why not have a new Captain America, also a Black Captain America, just talk about real things that are almost mirroring what we're going through. I think that's what's really impressed me about the MCU. We have this whole COVID thing, as I simplify it like that, COVID thing. And, the MCU has the blip, and it's suddenly our worlds are so mirroring each other. Like they have this thing they're going through. We have this other thing we're going through. And I don't know. So Sam's speech really worked for me. And I was like, I am connecting with this. I'm vibing with it.
It worked for me as well. Even some of like the more like things they sprinkled out throughout the episode. I think was episode 1 or 2. They go to Baltimore and they're stopped by the cops, and
it was 2.
And Bucky. That's episode 2. Like that was holy crap. Like that's so like could have happened in real life. Isaiah Bradley's situation where he was essentially erased. That happens. And the GRC. So it was just very much on the nose. This isn't new to Marvel, guys. You go back to me in 2009. The very first movie, Iron Man, was talking about weaponizing the Middle East with like giving them weapons. So that was in 2009 when all of this was like in the news. So this isn't anything new. I
was just gonna say it felt a little long. I will admit that it was like you probably could have trimmed some things.
And I was just gonna say, like, in that same thing is like it's longer because they're doing the slower mini-series style storytelling, which gives them a little bit more time to get a little bit more real. This is only the third entry in the Marvel post Endgame. And it's also, like, if you think about it,
which we have Spider-Man, WandaVision, and Captain America. Falcon or Soldier. Yeah.
So if you think about this, like you said, they always touch on stuff, but sometimes it's so surface or glossed over. It's kind of like subtextual because it's, the movies are paced faster. This had the time to get serious and deep. And I can see where some people are like, it kind of rides that line. Like it's Marvel, but it's a little bit more serious and a little bit more darker because we have that time to explore that. Like with, we're not like, let's hurry and get to the next part. Like and
WandaVision touched on grief and loss and how you have to work with that. I loved it too, Damon. It was incredibly inspirational. It was hopeful. I don't want to tell you how many times I teared up and was like, oh my gosh. I just thought it was beautiful. I didn't mind the on the nose part of it. And I want to, so who was this on the nose? Who was the preaching? Who was the addressing the racial injustice? Who was that for? Because I have to think that a lot of Marvel's audience, if they've grown up with Marvel and these movies, they're maybe in their 20s now who are, maybe, and again, very just overgeneralizations. Maybe some of them are passionate about this. Maybe some of them don't know anything like this exists. Maybe there's just like this, I don't know how they could at this point, but just don't understand the depth of privilege and prejudice. And maybe this could help them. Maybe they needed something that's this, like, this is how it is. I don't think this did any harm.
No, not at all. Actually, I like this because it was so specific to race. Because I feel like a lot of times, I think what the reason why Marvel Studios productions are so good is because you can kind of, if you think about it, depending on your politics, it kind of could apply to anybody, because you're right, they never do specify anything. I feel like this is one of the first times they were like, we are saying the word black, and it is a black man, and it is him in America. And so I think this was the first time where they were like, we're really meeting this. Whereas before, conservative, liberal, whatever your ways lean, you could have like, oh, this is about me, of course. And I just really loved it, especially when he talked about how the character Carly, who she's one of the things I think did not work for me in the end, but the idea that she died for what she believed in, these people were still like gonna brush off the flag smashers. I think that was a really good thing to call out.
I want to touch on the flag smashers in a second. I just want to kind of wrap up this Black Captain America conversation. Guys, I have a confession to make. I'm white. All right.
Wow.
I'm white.
Wow.
And
that's his camera on. Oh boy.
Yeah, as Isaiah Bradley and Sam were having conversations, I felt like I was getting a sneak peek into an incredibly intimate conversation that Black families, whether it's Black grandparents, have with their grandkids or their nieces or nephews. It was this very kind of like intimate, authentic, real conversation that as a white guy, I've never heard on screen like that before. There have been a few movies, but you go into those movies knowing those conversations are going to be like,
they're going to
hard.
Yeah.
This is with a universe that, is a ton of fun, that we have a lot of great memories with. And to hear that, I just felt very special to kind of hear in art and on film, on the screen, like these very intimate conversations that I never heard that way before. And I had no problem with it. I didn't mind it being, I think it really worked, especially to kind of have Sam's character develop and say, you know what? No, like we can say this has been difficult and hard and it really, really sucks, but I'm going to choose to be better and be hopeful and be hope. And that's the epitome of Captain America, right? Like that's really the heart of what that shield represents. Ty, how did all that work for you, man? And then we're going to touch on the flag smashes and what didn't work. But I think this is just like the heart of the show. This is what it all built up to, were these hard conversations and moments, and taking Isaiah Bradley to the museum, which I didn't even know about the character Isaiah Bradley. I had no clue that was even, like, again, I have no comic book knowledge. It was just unbelievable.
Well, I just want to say, first of all, the actor Carl Lumley, who played Isaiah Bradley, I love him.
Oh my gosh.
I love him. I mean,
amazing.
I think it's the fourth season of Supergirl is worth watching just for him, for his scenes, because he's so amazing.
Oh my god! Can I just interrupt? Thank you so much for bringing up season 4 of Supergirl. It's so good. The rest of the show is, but season 4 is really good.
I love it because I told my wife when I watched it, I'd watch a whole series of just Carl Lumley and David Harewood as father and son.
See, this is why you guys are on the show, because that's great.
It worked for me because I think Captain America, especially in the MCU, because I always try to think like this is the MCU's world, not just Marvel Comics, because they've proven that they'll take a concept or an idea or a character and they'll change it in the MCU. So I always try to apply that little bit of logic, because if you're like, oh, this happens in the comics, like it's not going to play out the same. That's kind of goes into the Sharon Carter thing. But, the concept I think with Captain America is much like the Superman character. I think the characters become bigger than like the ideals of the country. When Superman, the truth, justice, American way, I feel like that character has now gone to a point where he represents hope and inspiration for the entire world. And I think in the same way now, post Endgame, and what the spirit of Captain America means, it's above being Captain America. Like there's an ideal, a set level of who it is. And I think, Sam always thinks about that as in the example that Steve led. If you go back to like Steve's choices in Civil War, and Sam was with him, and what they stood for and what they were doing, and how that plays back into Sam taking on the mantle, is he's not Captain like America, like as John Walker was, where he's like, I'm for the government. He's Captain America, like in spirit and the ideals that were set up by Steve. And I think if nothing else, Steve chose his replacement based on the person that he is. And Sam, the whole arc of Sam being afraid, and then you add on the race elements, it makes it even stronger.
Which Steve was ignorant to, maybe, right? Like he didn't understand what he was asking, which even Bucky, was kind of there. And Bucky had this incredible speech and apologizing. I felt like, and this is the penultimate episode, apologizing on all of, like how as someone who's white, how do you have these conversations and how do you apologize and empathize and take their perspective? Well, I thought they outlined that beautifully in the penultimate episode, but no, yeah, Ty, I mean, you're right.
You got these characters who basically, if you look at it, they disappeared at a time where they had an ideology, and then they reappear in the world that they were no part of. Even Bucky, because like when he would show up as the Winter Soldier, he was, mind wiped and controlled. So, they have this mindset and they're appearing in this world, and there's all that history, that Steve had to catch up on. Like they joked in the Winter Soldier, where he's telling them what albums to get and all this. And you see that connection between Sam and Steve. And I think that, Steve doesn't think the way other people do.
Yeah. Damon, you said the Flag Smashers didn't work for you, and I don't think you're alone in that. I think there was just a lot of things going on there. Damon, why didn't the Flag Smashers and Carly's character work for you?
I think ultimately they just, it felt like every episode there was like, oh, there's a bigger threat than the Flag Smashers. There's the Power Broker, there's John Walker, there's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it just, it was strange. It kind of was like when we get to the last episode, like, oh yeah, the original bad guys, we got to deal with them. And it just kind of was like, I don't really care about them anymore because I want to know about, Sharon Carter and Madripoor. I want to know about who Val is. I want to see what John Walker's going to do. And it was just, and Zemo, I'm like, I want to his, campaign to like kill all super soldiers.
Chilling on the raft, man.
Right.
Just chilling on the raft.
So it's just,
pulling all the strings.
I don't think they did a good enough job. They use some comedy lingo of heightening Carly's character.
There you go.
She kind of stayed where she was, but there were other bigger threats out there. And I was like, it just kind of felt anticlimactic in her for that storyline.
In her story. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Have you heard the rumor about why maybe that's convoluted?
Is it with the filming issues? Maybe?
No.
Okay. Then no, I do not.
Ty, do you know what?
Does it start with an S? Because I'm not buying any of that right now.
I don't know what.
Okay, then you
go. Here's the rumor that I heard that I watched. Okay, now every crazy theory starts out with I watch his YouTube video, right? But it was a YouTube video that says that the original Flag Smashers plot line had to do with a virus that was released by Madripoor, and the Flag Smashers. If you think back to the first and second episode, they're getting vaccines. Right. And they're taking them to where, and we don't hear about them again. The actress they got to play, who was the matriarch who passed away?
Mama Dunya.
Yeah. She's like a bona fide actress, and she was just like a corpse. Like they didn't throw in later that it was tuberculosis. But if you kind of start to piece some of these things together, all the rushed exposition, it does seem like they pivoted from, because all that was done before COVID, that they pivoted from this like huge central Flag Smashers. Hey, we're taking medicine and vaccines and supplies to all these displaced people that I think would have really helped ground their characters and help us say, hey, like that makes sense. They're right.
And can I just say, as someone who's watching this current season of Grey's Anatomy where they are dealing with COVID, I can handle it. I can handle virus talk on my TV.
I was going to say, I think now we're a little bit more able to adapt. I think back when they had it and this started and they were filming, they might have been like, nope.
Madripoor is like in Southeast Asia. Like it's kind of like a little maybe too close to home, but yeah, Flag Smashers, Carly's kind of thing, and all of them.
To me, it didn't show like an arc. It wasn't like they started out peaceful and then they rose to being brutal. It's like they started out already like destroying people. So to me, I feel like they weren't more of like the arc or the characters as much as they were just a antagonistic, something for our heroes to go against. And they weren't fleshed out as much because a lot of it, like, I love when Sam tries to talk to her and then John Walker like throws that hole out the window.
Let's talk about John Walker because he Wyatt Russell almost stole the show. Just an incredible portrayal, even from the first scene of the pilot. Just like this cheesy face with a wink, and I thought I just did an incredible job of showing the gravity of Captain America, showing how slippery of a slope pride and anger can play a role in your elevated status. How his character ended was a little strange. I don't know U.S. agent, but Damon, Wyatt Russell worked for me. That Cap, everything worked. I felt like up until the end, they didn't make a wrong move with his character.
Oh yeah, well, I love Wyatt Russell. I had only seen him in 22 Jump Street, the Channing Tatum Jonah Hill sequel to 21 Jump Street.
Classic sequel.
We'll see. They go to college in the second one.
I see him in 3 things.
But I think he did a good job. I feel like I did a quick Google search of his character. I feel like John Walker is destined to become U.S. agent. That was always going to be his thing. I kind of thought my theory was that it was a brainwashing situation, just because the first time we see, or I guess the second time we see him in that locker room, his sidekick Battlestar says time to go to work, and he kind of like, in my opinion, it was very haunted. He was like, time to go to work, and I was like, okay, he's a sleeper agent. He's got a trigger.
Something's not.
And I thought
right.
like when Battlestar dies, I was like, okay, now he's on the loose, but they never really follow through with that. So never mind.
My thing was with him was, I think he played that line perfect at times. Like, okay, I like this guy, but then you're like, something's not right. I mean, and going back, what's interesting, think about when he's talking with Battlestar and he talks about, would you take the serum? And, he says to him, he says about like what's inside comes out stronger, and that going back to what Erskine,
good becomes better and bad becomes worse, or whatever.
Go back to what Erskine first says, to Steve.
Erskine,
why he chooses. Yes, why he chooses Steve in the beginning compared to the other guy, because he says it's about the person on the inside. And then you go and you think about when Bucky says that guy's crazy, and Sam's like, "Why?" He's like, "I know crazy." So we are seeing that he has post-traumatic stress, some other things that involve being a soldier in him, and then he takes the super soldier serum with all of his other mental capacity. So that's going to arise more out of him and bring that up to a different level. And my one thing was when he comes out at the end as U.S. agent, the suit did not look different enough for me than what his Captain America suit was, because of like the lighting too. I didn't realize it was black until he says it's black. Then I was like, oh, I can kind of tell, because the suit was already like a dark blue. And then that end scene where he comes out and it's like he's in the shadow. I couldn't tell like how different it was. It looked like he just spray painted over the A's, So yeah, he's now basically like a mercenary that doesn't realize he's a mercenary.
Right. All right. So Damon, we'll start with you. Who won the show, man?
Who won the show? That is a great question. Honestly, for me, kind of a tie between Sam and Sharon Carter. Because I think Sam, it seemed so far in these Disney Plus series, it seems like it's who gets a new suit, because I love how WandaVision ended with Wanda getting a new Scarlet Witch suit, and now Sam has a new Captain America suit. So I think Sam probably took the hard road to become victorious, but Sharon Carter, I don't know what she's gonna do, but she has a secret identity as the power broker, which we don't really see in Marvel that much, secret identities, and she's going to be trading some government information for money, and I love it. It kind
of made me think, do you guys remember what happened in Iron Man 3? The original?
No.
Originally the Rebecca Hall character was supposed to be the villain, but then they had to change it up because they didn't want like a woman being the main big bad guy, and like it's not anti-climate. So they kind of created and reused the Aldrich Killian character, because originally it was supposed to be, I can't remember what her character's name is, but the actress is Rebecca Hall. Like she was supposed to be. So then let's fast forward to now. I thought they're kind of doing a similar thing with Sharon. And at first I was like, man, they're doing Sharon dirty. but then I did a little, things in her comic book background because I wasn't as familiar of like the depth of her character. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of see this. But then there's that big theory out there that her character is part of what's going to lead into the secret invasion, that she's actually a Skrull.
I heard that too.
And I'm like, I'm not buying that. Because I feel like with the shows, they're trying to do some stuff differently. Like I said, we're in a post-Endgame, and on the shows, we're trying to be a little bit more serious and take these characters different. But Falcon wins the show for me just because of like the speech. Yeah. I'm a little sad that Bucky didn't get as much. Like, we don't know really where Bucky is or what he's doing. Like, he's just a drifter now. Like, what is his story?
Yeah, I thought there would be like a Winter Soldier flashback in every episode, like in the first one.
That would have been like just seeing those nightmares and like him. Like, I just feel like he got the short end of like the stick in the most of like, he's there. And I think he's there almost to service the other stories with a slight arc. Like, he has an arc. Like, if you look at it, like, oh, okay, he told the Asian guy what happened to his son. But I feel like it was lacking in him coming to terms with who he is. And maybe he should have got a suit and stood out as something else at the end, and stepped out into the light or something to recognize like his past crimes, his past sins, and how he's going to atone to the world for it. But I just feel like he just kind of got put under the bus.
Yeah, Ty, I totally agree. I think Sam Wilson did win the show, but I thought Wyatt Russell really, he almost stole. I thought even Julie Louis-Dreyfus at the end with her like Selena Meyer Contessa character, which we haven't really talked a lot about. She came in strong, and I'm a big fan of Julie Louis-Dreyfus. But yeah, I think Sam Wilson won the show. He is the new Captain America, and he has everyone on his side, and no one is upset. No one is saying it doesn't work. It works. And I'm excited for phase 4 to see what that looks like as the Avengers are reassembling and led by, Scarlet Witch and Captain America. We have the Winter Soldier,
Doctor
Strange, Spider-Man. We have Thor coming down. They just announced that Zeus is going to be played by the guy Russell Crowe in Thor: God and Thunder.
Wow.
They just announced that, so that's big. So a lot of really exciting things. Damon, you didn't know that?
I did not know that. I'm Googling right now.
Oh man, that was a live reaction shot.
Well,
there.
We're gonna get Captain America 4. Tentatively titled.
Captain America 4 is in development, and who knows what? Like, I don't know anything about Shang-Chi and that character and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That looks amazing.
I just hope they tie it back to Iron Man, because the Ten Rings was the organization that kidnapped him. Like,
with the Mandalorian.
With the Mandarin.
Mandarin, not the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Right, the Star Wars.
Groot and the Mandalorian where they're wrecking havoc, and the the Eternals is coming down. We have Black Widow, who got pushed back again, I think.
It's in July. So
a lot of exciting things for 2021. It's pretty remarkable what they're able to do to kind of generate buzz and conversation through their stuff. Marvel's here to stay. It's never going away. It's going to be pumping out billion-dollar movies for the next 2 decades, as it has already. Damon, Ty, thank you so much for coming on the Chase Smith podcast to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'm in.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Totally in.